Hey fellow tennis nerds, I hope all is well. Playing a tennis tournament can be fun and exciting, but it can also be nerve-wracking and exhausting. Last week I played a prize money open tournament called the Eltek Open II, arranged at the beautiful Don Carlos resort in Marbella, Spain. It's a little bit like tennis paradise with clay courts of the finest quality. These courts were absolutely great. It was a tough draw. Players like Enrique Quique Lopez, who has beaten Kyrgios, won a challenger some years back. He's not playing actively anymore on the tour, but at best he was 150 in the world. My friend Carl Adrian, who you might have seen in other tennis nerd videos, actually played Quique in the semi-final and did well and made it actually somewhat competitive. So that was great and well done to Carl. The guy who ended up winning the tournament was Andres Fernandez Canovas, and I had the misfortune to face him in the round of 16, where I got something like 10 points. I had actually to qualify into the main draw. This is very strong and quite a big tournament. I had to play 3 qualifying matches. Sadly, I only recorded bits of 2 matches. I felt like I wanted to focus on playing, and the recording can be a distraction to me and my opponent. I can do better next time maybe with the recording, but it was a little bit tricky. Also, my tennis is not very pretty to look at, so that's one reason. Anyway, I played 3 tough matches to get through to the main draw. I actually ended up getting in as a lucky loser in the end, as I lost my 3rd qualifier 6-7, 6-7 after 2.5 hours in humid condition. So match play is very different. You tense up, you play worse, you have to fight yourself and your opponent. I hate it and I love it at the same time, but you have to embrace the challenge. There is no other way. I saw actually some report that many club players believe that they can win games from the pros. This was from the US. And let me tell you that unless you're a highly advanced tennis player, you're not going to get many points in games against these professional tennis players. They are incredibly good. And when you have played these guys that are ranked in the ATP rankings or even on the WTA Tour, you notice that why they are playing tennis every day and working so hard on the sport, and that makes a huge difference in the level of play overall. So kudos to tennis professionals and people that put in a lot of effort into their tennis, because they're excellent athletes. But yeah, I think some people are delusional about their abilities to play against professional players. So in the qualifying draw, I played decent amateurs, like intermediate to advanced players who are coaches, tennis coaches, and they can play tennis at a pretty high level. But then you go the step up to a guy who plays futures, who plays these professional leagues, and puts everything into his tennis. It's a completely different ballpark. So that's just always interesting, but it doesn't give him much to play against me, and it doesn't give me much to play against him, because the level is too different. You always want to play tennis against players of similar caliber. That's the way tennis is the most enjoyable, when there's like a fight on the court and you actually playing long rallies. So just wanted to point that out. It was also interesting to see one of the top juniors. I mean, he's 16 years old, Nando, who was playing against my friend Carl Adrian in the quarterfinals. A very talented guy. He will be good if he gets the right coaching, and he's the top player in Andalusia. And I really was impressed by the way he conducted himself on the court, but also his tennis skills were great, So that guy will be good. Was also a tough opponent for Carl, but Carl got it done, and then played Enrique Lopez and did well, but it was a tough match. Overall, this was a fun, well-arranged tournament. Big thanks to Manu, who organized. He's an ex-pro himself, runs the academy at Don Carlos. There was also a women's tournament, a doubles tournament, a consolation draw. So there were lots of tennis being played at Don Carlos over the weekend. I think it's great when players can play more matches, even if they lose first round. I think that's important. You put in some money to play the tournament. This was only 30 euros. And if you lose your first match, you want to have another one. So I think that's great that they have a consolation draw. I really recommend that for other tournament organizers. You want to maximize the tennis enjoyment and make it kind of like a festival of tennis for as many levels as possible. So it's a fun 4 days of intense tennis, playing 4 matches in 2 days. It takes a lot on the body, especially in humid conditions and on clay, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm inspired to play more tournaments in the future, and you should do that too. So don't forget to play some tennis.